Welcome. This is episode 2 of the Talk Your Blitz podcast. If you were here last week, we appreciate you coming back. And if you're new, welcome. So let's get started.
Before we get into the draft, I want to hit on a couple key things from last week. I know we both were talking about the Rossini and Vrabel, and we were both thinking that she was still with ESPN. I didn't know she had actually went with a different company. She's working for the Athletic. Well, was working for the Athletic now. And so I looked into it a little bit, and they actually did have a policy. I don't know if it was a for sure terminating policy if something like that happened, but I just know it was said they did have a policy that was kind of strictly against it, could lead to termination, or pretty much what they done kind of put her on like a ban. So that kind of clears up the whole thing of me and you talking about, we didn't really understand why they done what they done, but if it's in policy, and it happens, then I can get it.
Yeah.
Which it's still crazy.
And clearly they obviously was cheating with everything that Vrabel said and how he's going through counseling. That they obviously did have something going on.
Oh, well, that's what I was about to say. It's still crazy that even with the first round of the draft last night, it's still one of the main headlines. And that's the thing. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand, but at the same time, I don't. Like you just said, we pretty much know now. I mean, neither one of them has just come out and said, yeah, we were cheating, but they've done everything. Well, not they. Vrabel's done everything but said that. I mean, he's done said he's had difficult talks with his family. He's going to counseling. He said his actions, didn't meet the standard he holds for himself or his players. I mean, that's pretty much telling you, we got caught doing what everybody thought we were doing. But I'm not going to talk too much into that. I just wanted to kind of clear that up for everybody because, like I said, we were kind of misinformed on the whole where she worked at. And then I actually listened to the podcast myself, and I know I called you and I said, people are going to think I'm crazy.
Trust me, they thought you were crazy at the end of that thing and say, listen. By the way, we do want to thank everybody that did vote. We do appreciate everybody did vote with me. So just want to get that out there.
But like I said, we'll come back at the end of the year. But no, what I was getting at is I'm bad. I'm going to have to try to get a little better. I jump around a lot, in which we do it a lot. And we kind of know what we're talking about because we talk about this stuff so much. But I remember specifically we were talking about Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and I said early on in his career, I would rather have Hurts. And what I was meaning is like in big time games, like playoff games, I would rather have had Hurts because if you go back and look and if you watched and you remember, you take the first 3 seasons Hurts made the playoffs and compare them to the first 3 seasons Jackson made the playoffs, and the play is totally – I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going to say regular season Jackson may have been better, but during the playoffs, like in the big-time games, Hurts looked a lot more – he just looked a lot more relaxed and calm, and he just a lot more collected and better as a thrower. So that was kind of the thing. I didn't want people thinking I would rather have Hurts early in his just regular career.
Yeah.
But that, and then also we were talking about the Jets with the defense Solomon had compared to the defense that Aaron Glenn had last year. And I made the reference that they both had some same players, but Robert Solomon had Sauce in his prime, a young Jamal Adams. It wasn't Jamal Adams. It was Tony Adams, which actually signed as an undrafted free agent the same year Sauce got there in 2022. I guess both played safety, both named Adams, both on the Jets. So they got a lot of similarities. But and I think, and I said he was actually a pretty good – I don't think he started his first year, but now he started his second year, and I think he played with him for 2 or 3 seasons and was actually – pretty good. I actually seen where Solomon just actually signed him to Tennessee. I don't think it's for a starting spot. I'm sure it's more just a depth piece, but he liked him at the Jets. But that was just a few things I just wanted to kind of clear up and not leave everything muddy and people think we're just crazy or I'm just crazy.
Well, they probably think we're 2 idiots in here just
talking. Listen, I don't claim to know everything, but I'm going to give some hot ones. We said we're going to give some hot ones.
I think we'll give some hot ones tonight because yesterday we're filming this on the 24th. The second round's going on right now as we're talking. We watched the first round last night together. Golly, some of these picks killed me.
Honestly, though, there was a lot more good picks than bad picks.
Yes.
But the bad picks were as bad as you get.
Yes.
I mean,
and one of them, the biggest good and bad pick of all, was the Cardinals at 3. Because Jeremiah Love is without a doubt the best player in this draft. But that is the dumbest pick in the world.
Yeah, well,
for the Cardinals at 3.
I done lost my statement from last week, too.
Yeah.
Being top 5.
Yeah. Oh, no. Like we said, they have Algier. They got him in the offseason. They have James Conner.
They honestly got 3. I'm not going to say great starting running backs, but they got 3 starting caliber running backs on a team. And I hate it for Algier because he literally left Atlanta for the simple fact of he even made it. I mean, he made it known. Like, it's not like he just, come out as a free agent and the Cardinals were like, oh, yeah, he's a good player. We'll pick him up. I mean, he made it known, I'm leaving Atlanta because I feel I'm a starting running back.
Yeah.
They sign him and then go draft Jeremiah Love. I mean, are you going to set Jeremiah Love? I mean, are you going to pay him the highest paid for running back and set him?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the way I look at it, and I said this last week, I mean, all they done last night was cause chaos in their own locker room.
Yeah.
Because now you're going to have Algier. I mean, obviously, he left. I mean, I ain't going to say Atlanta's in much better situation than what the Cardinals are, but why would you want to leave Atlanta just to go back up another crappy team?
Yeah. And the crazy thing is not only did they cause chaos in the locker room, they set themselves back even further.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was insane. And them taking Love at 3, blew everybody's mock draft up.
Well, it would have been different. Honestly, if they had a quarterback, even with signing Algier in the offseason, I could still maybe kind of get behind taking Love. And I say if they had a quarterback, I mean, they couldn't have took that third pick and picked a quarterback this year that would have helped me more than what they have probably. But I don't know. I think there was more pieces they could have took or either trade. I mean, there was a lot of talk early on in the last couple of weeks of teams wanting to trade up with them. The Cowboys being one, which I don't know, they may have never even offered it. But I mean, with what they need, the way their team is, I don't think taking Love helps them at all next year. I don't think it makes. I mean, he may have a good season still, but as far as overall team wise, I don't think it helps them one bit at all.
An insane pick.
And we skipped the first 2 picks, but they were pretty much set in stone. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I'll say Mendoza was set in stone. Yes. Now, the whole Jets, Averill Reese, David Bailey, everybody thought they were going to take Bailey, which was, for a plug-and-play guy, was the best move. I mean, they can throw him right in. They ain't got to worry about, hey, is he better here or there? He's an edge rusher. He's going to get after the quarterback. He's going to have a good season next year. So that's that.
But like we said, after the Cardinals took Love, that kind of threw everything off. You look, and me and you, had the Titans after Love was gone. We were like, oh, they're for sure taking Arvell Reese here. And then they go and get.
Well, actually, I said, kind of as a joke towards you because you was wanting Tate for the Saints. I said Tate, but at the same time, like I was joking, but I was kind of being for real too, just for the simple fact of they wanted to get Jeremiah Love to give Cam Ward another playmaker, and it just hit me. He's gone now. I mean, why not take Tate? I mean,
oh yeah.
I don't know.
It threw me off, but it was a very good pick to help Cam Ward.
Yes, it was. It was a good pick for him. I just don't know. And I love Tate. I mean, I've said it, and I'll still say it. I think he was the best receiver in this year's draft by far. I think he'll have a good season next season. But I'm kind of torn about 60-40 of was it the actual right move just for the simple fact of
taking him that high.
Well, not even that. It's just I don't know if there's other players that we may have could have took Averill Reese and him help Tennessee out more. Because Tennessee, after going and getting Wan'Dale Robinson in the offseason, I mean, they don't have a bad wide receiver even before they got Tate last night. They didn't have a bad wide receiver core. I mean, you got A.O. Minor and DK last year as rookies, and both of them looked really decent. And that was with change at coach through the year. Then you got just someone having to step up and be the coach. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't like they had a full season of, a steady coaching staff, and they still, done fairly decent. Now you brought in Dable to help the offense. I think he's going to really help the offense out.
Yes.
And I mean, so I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think Tate is going to come in and be a starter day one and probably produce more than either one of those guys will this year. Maybe not Wandale, but I could see Wandale having.
I'll be honest with you, because I got to thinking about it after it. Wandale's a great 2. He's a great slot 2. You put Tate at the 1, which is obviously where he's going to play.
Oh yeah.
You put Tate at the 1. You put Wandale at the 2 at the slot. You let DK just run anywhere he wants to go. And when you go 4 wide, you put A.O. Manor in there. You're talking about a very good young receiving corps. Very good.
Well, and I don't even know if they won't play A.O. Minor more than DK, just for the simple fact of DK is really good at returning, and I don't know if they're going to want to, play him. You see teams a lot of times try to keep a player on for special teams.
And the thing about that is, A.O. Manor, he's not fast, he's not as fast as DK, but he's catching the ball.
Oh yeah,
You throw it
he's
catching.
Yeah. So, but what I was going to say though is I don't know. I could see Wandale having a better year than Tate this first year, but it wouldn't blow me away if Tate don't come in and have a great. Honestly, I'm going to start off real early giving a hot take. It wouldn't blow me away if he's not the offensive player of the year this year.
Oh, I can see it easily.
Just for the simple fact of, I really think Dable is going to really help this offense out.
Yes.
And then they got, Solomon head coach, which he's also, I think he's going to be calling a lot of the shots on defense.
Oh, yeah.
And even if he's not calling them during game, he's still going to have those players playing at their full potential.
Yes.
And then, going on to, their second pick, trading back up into the first round and getting Falk there at the end of the draft last night, the end of the round. I think he's going to be.
You're looking at a nasty defensive line now.
Yeah, especially with, if you throw in, which, Solomon he's been known to like the 4-3. So, if you got, Simmons, Myers in the middle, and then you got Jermaine Johnson coming down on the edge, and then you got Falk on the other edge, that's going to be, and I said that last week, they still don't have a great secondary, but like I said last week, I really think that Taylor and them are they're gonna hold their own.
And solid.
So I really think that getting him at edge is, I think that's gonna that line's gonna be. I think they're gonna be really underrated. And I'm not just saying it because I'm a Titans fan. I look at everything, but I really think that defensive line next year is going to be a very underrated line.
Yes. Now let's go to the Giants at 5. They also had number 10. That I did not see Arvell Reese dropping that far. Everybody had him going at 3, which obviously 3 and 5 not a big drop. But for Arvell Reese, because the biggest question was him, does he have a true position?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you right now, with Harbaugh being your head coach, it don't matter if he's got a set position or not. Harbaugh's going to get the absolute best out of him. You're going to go back 3 years from now, 4 years from now, you're going to be like, man, that is insane that they let the Giants get Arvell Reese.
Oh, yeah. Well, I agree. I do think Harbaugh is going to get the most out of him. But I almost look at that the same way as I look at the Tate pick with Tennessee. Is I just don't know if they couldn't have went, honestly, in my opinion, went Caleb Downs, and it helped them more from the get-go just for the simple fact of they got Brian Burns on the edge. They got Adore Carter on the edge. They got Thibodeau that they throw in on the edge some. He also plays linebacker. And then they got Tremaine Edmonds in free agency this year at linebacker. So, honestly, they have two really good edge rushers in Adole Carter and Thibodeau or Brian Burns. Obviously, it's Burns and Carter is they're starting, but you throw Thibodeau in there some, and I mean they have a good edge rushing group already. They got I believe it was Javon Holland they got at safety, and now their other safety last year was hurt at some point in the season, and there was a couple of times he got benched for bad play. So with a player like Downs being there at 5 as well, I just don't know. I mean, I think Averill Reese is going to be a great player. I really do. I agree with everything you said. I think in 3 or 4 years, you're going to look back and say, dang, that was a great pick. But I also think that at the end of next year, you're going to look at the Cowboys and say,
yeah,
Caleb Downs going 11 was crazy to the Cowboys. So, I really think he is just a come in day one player, and you have no doubt on what he brings for the team. I could see him being the leader of that defense next year.
Yeah. Now let's go to the Giants' second pick. Now listen,
Great.
It's a great pick. I'm a Saints fan. For the last 8 years, I've dealt with the Saints taking on an offensive lineman. I've hated it. I've yelled. I've gotten mad. Listen, Jackson Dart stayed in the blue tent.
Oh, he lived in the blue tent.
He might as well have been renting a room.
That was his home away from home.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, I'll argue this, and I don't think it's far. I don't think it's I think it's 1A, 1B. They got the best tackle in this draft.
Oh, yeah. I'm right with you. I don't know. I ain't going to say for sure he was the best because
the 1A, 1B, they're right there together.
They're right there together. But either way, honestly, either one of the top 3 or 4 offensive tackles would have been a good play at number 10. Just so effective. And like you said, people don't want to see their team take a tackle in the first round. I don't even like it. But
I hated it for 8 years now.
But when you're assembling a team and you have a team like the Giants have right now on offense, I mean, Jackson Dart looked good last year. What we seen him. Cam Scatterbo looked good last year. What we seen of him. We know what Malik Neighbors brings to the table.
They got Isaiah Likely.
They went and got a good tight end. They also got a couple more receivers. I'm pretty sure. Was it Darnell Mooney? I told you. I think.
Yeah,
I believe now. I don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure
Calvin
and Calvin Austin.
Yeah,
and
which he's going to be great in the slot to take that. He moves in, in Wandale.
And they still have Jalen Hyatt, which he's kind of. He's not. I'm not going to say he's been a bust, but I don't know if he's really lived up to the expectation. But still, though, they have a decent receiving corps. I mean, really on the offensive side of the ball, line was one of their biggest needs their biggest need coming into the draft as far as on the offensive side of the ball. So, taking that tackle at 10, I think that was a great – I'm not going to say there wasn't great players at other positions you could have took and also helped your team, but I think that was a great pick because they already have one good tackle.
Yes.
Thomas, I think. Is it Andrew Thomas, I believe?
I think. I can't.
But the only bad thing with him is I think over the last 2 or 3 years now, don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure that I've seen he's averaged 8 games a season where he's been hurt so much. So I mean, but if he can stay healthy, you got him on one side, you got the tackle they took last time on the other side. I mean, they're building that lineup.
Yeah,
and I mean that's
you got to do that with a young quarterback.
Yes, I don't care. I don't even care if you got I don't care if you got Tom Brady back there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, honest to God, you could have Tom Brady, Derrick Henry, Calvin Johnson. I don't care who you got on the offside of the ball. If your line's horrible and your quarterback don't have time to throw the ball, it don't matter who you got. Yeah. I mean, you might as well have nobody.
Now, let's move to the 6th pick because this, in my opinion, I ain't going to say the dumbest move because we'll get to that later. We know where that's going. But to me, unless the Saints at 8 were planning on taking the cornerback from LSU, why you can get him at 9. I mean, I don't understand. Like I said, unless they think the Saints, maybe possibly the Commanders, were going to take him.
I don't think the Commanders was in play, but I do think the Saints were. And I told you that earlier. I had seen a couple things today that I think it was Brett Veach. I think the GM. I believe is that not the GM of the Chiefs.
I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure. I know he's on the Chiefs. I don't know if he's the GM or what he is, but they were doing an interview with him earlier, and he had said, like he was their guy all along. That's who they wanted, regardless of where they was
that's
at.
what they needed.
And he said, I don't remember if he said that they were afraid the Saints were going to take him, or the report just said that they were afraid the Saints was going to take him.
Now,
and it would have made sense because I believe if he would have been there, they could have very well took him because y'all lost Delonte Taylor, went to Tennessee, so y'all could have used that. So, like you said though, I don't know if they couldn't have got him at 9, but I mean, at the same time though, they didn't really give up nothing. It ain't like they gave up, their first round and their second round to move up. They lost a couple picks on the back end of the draft, but Kansas City, they don't need a whole lot. They
need a corner.
People can say what they want to say and think the Chiefs are going downhill. I'm telling you right now,
they're going to be a nightmare.
They're fixing, especially after seeing what they took at the beginning of this second round.
Yes.
They went defense all 3 picks, and they've all been really good picks. Obviously, that corner was the best corner in this year's draft. Then they come out and get a defensive tackle to pair up with Chris Jones.
And then get an
and now they got an edge rusher.
Great
good edge rusher. That defense is fixing to be nasty.
Now,
and if Rashee Rice stays, I'm on him. It ain't healthy. Most time you're looking at your players like, man, if he can stay healthy, if he can stay out of trouble.
Yeah. And they had this problem with all their receivers.
That's crazy because he is a good. I mean, honestly, if you remember and look back 2 or 3 years ago, people had him up there as a receiver because he was producing. He was producing with the stats to be up there. But it's just I don't understand how you can be as good as some of these players are, but can't stay out of trouble. What more do you want?
Exactly. Now, I don't want to stick on the. I don't want to talk much about the Commanders. They picked Sonny Styles. I seen that coming.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much everybody seen that coming. Now let's talk about my Saints. So I don't know how to feel.
I called it.
Oh, I know. And which, if since we didn't get Tate, and that I didn't really see us getting Tate, but I was hoping. But now, Tyson is a great receiver. My worry is we're going to have another Michael Thomas.
Yes.
We're great for 2 or 3 seasons, but then you cannot keep him healthy.
Yeah, but that's...
In my opinion, honestly, I see so much upside to it that I'm like, yes, this is great. And after seeing him sit there and cry, like so motivated, I'm like, all right, I'm bought in. But I'm just, there's part of me deep down that's like, I'm so worried.
You got it. As a true, fan, you gotta be, you can't just look at it and they took him. It is what it is. If he's healthy, he's healthy. If he ain't, as a true fan, you're gonna be, you gotta be like, you gotta be like that. But just kind of mirroring everything you said. If he stays healthy, he is
him and a great
receiver.
Gonna be
I'll be honest with you. Had he not got hurt, I'm not going to say it wouldn't have been a 1A, 1B of him and Carnell Tate going first overall because I think it was last year. It may have been, or it was either last year or the year before last. He was pretty much leading every category in college football for receiver. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was Tyson that done it. Whoever it was a receiver, but I'm almost positive it was Tyson. And even if it wasn't him though, he still, whenever he was healthy, he was a great receiver. So I really think, like you said, there's a lot of upside. And y'all are kind of in a situation. Well, the Saints are in a situation, if he can stay healthy, they're in a good situation.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all
if Shook progresses and keeps going forward. Because at the start of the season, I was kind of worried. But, we went to the Titans Saints game. Man, I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
I stuck my foot in my mouth and told you if he went and, led them to a win, I was going to buy a Shook jersey, and I still got to buy it because he did, which I'm glad. But if he can progress, that's
what I was getting at, Y'all went the last 12 years drafting offensive linemen, so y'all got a really good line now. Yeah. I mean, Kamara's definitely on the downhill, but y'all still got him, and then y'all went and picked up ETN.
Yes.
Y'all got a good running back group. Now, if Tyson can stay healthy, pairing him with Olave,
it's going to be nice.
That's a good wide receiving group. I mean, so, y'all are – it really all just falls on – it's really going to fall on Shook this year. If he keeps on, like you said, if he keeps climbing like he, started there towards the middle-ish of the season, and he carries that into the start of this season and, just keeps getting better, the Saints will be, they still need a few defensive pieces, which I'm sure they're going to address in this draft. And then, there's still some moves to be made even after the draft. You never know. Tomorrow may not be on the Saints at the beginning of next season.
And honestly, I don't expect it.
They could trade him for a decent defensive piece, or
Hey Giants, if you're listening, send us Thibodeau, please. I would appreciate it.
I seen the thing today. They were asking the Giants. I don't know if it was a GM or who it was. I just seen if they were expecting to trade him, and they said no. They said they planned on keeping him.
But I would love him to go to this. Well, to get him, get Scatterbo some help. I would like it. But maybe I can talk some things into existence here.
But yeah, the Saints they have a lot to look forward to on the offensive side of the ball. Now, they definitely need to make a few good moves tonight and tomorrow in the draft.
From the end of last season to tonight, I am so much more enthusiastic about this upcoming season. I really am. Now, I don't want to speak too much, into the Browns. They picked a tackle. Everybody figured they was going to. Well, actually, I had them picking Carnell Tate. Obviously, they couldn't do that after the Titans took him.
Yeah, no, I think I do believe if he would have been on the board, their pick, I don't think they would have traded with the Chiefs. I believe they would have took Carnell Tate.
But that was a good pick.
Oh, yeah, it was that. Well, they're kind of, a lot of these teams that have been bad for the last couple of years, they're getting their pieces together. It's just like, the Browns are kind of in the same situation. I really don't know if they're going to start Shedeur or start
Massage Watson.
Yeah, Massage Watson. I don't know who they're going to go with.
They might start him, but he probably won't play long before he gets into some more trouble.
Because it's crazy. Everything I've seen so far is Tom Watson looks great. He looks like he's taking first team, and I'm like,
that's such a Browns move. Though.
But they have, if they play their cards right, they have the pieces to be a decent team. Same ordeal. They have a decent offensive line after taking that tackle. I think Shedeur should be the starting quarterback.
Yes.
They got two great running backs in last year's draft. Judkins and Dylan Sampson. That is a really good running back group. So they got good running backs. I don't know what they're going to do at tight end. Well, no, actually, I take that back. I think they got a tight end last year, didn't they?
Who?
The Browns.
Did they? I don't remember. I don't think they.
I could have swore. I think they either got one or maybe they brought one in. I don't know if they drafted one, but is it Harold Fannin? I believe.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure. But anyways,
with them,
they got KC, last night in the draft, and then we seen them draft. Was it Denzel Boston? I believe.
Yeah, it was Boston.
Yeah,
and that was a good pick.
That was a good pick. Now they got a good wide receiving group. I don't know how everybody feels about Judy. Maybe with him not having the pressure, having to be the number one receiver, maybe he can do have it.
Maybe,
but even if he don't, they still brought in two. I know it's going to be two rookies, but they have the ability to be a good team next year on the offensive side of the ball. And then the defense side of the ball is not very weak at all.
No.
They got, obviously got Myles Garrett. They got Mason Graham last year, and then got a great linebacker last year in Swearinger. Got one really good cornerback, and then the other one they got from the Texans last year with that trade they made to them. Can't remember his name, but he's not horrible. Or no, it wasn't the Texans. It was the Jaguars.
Yeah,
it was Jaguars. But so they got a decent. They have a decent defense. I mean, got a good safety. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird looking at some of these teams like that because they have a lot of good key pieces. Just like they can't put it together. It's like they got the puzzle in front of them. They just don't have just the sense to sit there and just put it together.
They're over there trying to put a square peg in a round hole.
But
now Dallas was the next pick. No, well, the Giants.
Yeah, but we kind of know.
Yeah. Now Dallas, listen. I hate Dallas. My uncle was a fan of Dallas. I give him crap about him all the time, but man, they absolutely killed it so far.
Yes,
they have killed it.
I'll be honest with you. They could have took Caleb Downs at 11 and not drafted another pick in this year's draft, and they killed it because, I mean, they needed a little more on the defense side of the ball as well. But they brought in a lot of good players last year. Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, when they made the trade with the Green Bay, brought in Rashawn Gary, I think.
With Green Bay.
Yes. They
maybe got Overshown.
Overshown's supposed to be back healthy this year. They do still could use a cornerback or two. I don't know.
I see them hitting that because they, while we was watching before we started, they did trade with the 49ers for a linebacker, so they filled that. And then getting Caleb Downs, I mean, they needed a good safety, and like I said, I could honestly see him coming in and being that defensive captain as a rookie. I mean, he is. I'm telling you, he is going to be, barring no injuries, nothing crazy happens to him, he is going to be a great player. And we've seen it, and you can look, you got to say, if this happens, with every college player, because you never know. I mean, we've seen so many be great in college and then just cannot figure it out in the NFL. Or be mediocre in college. I mean, amazing.
But we've seen him, though, play under 3 different coordinators
and
was the best player on defense under all 3 of them. Under Saban, his freshman year, 100 tackles.
Crazy
as a freshman. To see the field as a freshman under Saban, that ought to tell you all you need to know. You had to be good. So, that, and then he went to Ohio State, and I believe it. They said it was 3 different coordinators. I believe
he had Matt Patricia last year, which that's already an NFL coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
That's he's unreal.
It's not like like a lot of players when you see them change coordinators, it affects them. It's like get them mad. Like, hey, you just bring in whoever you want to. I'm gonna go there and do my thing.
All 3 defensive minds made him their center.
And he's done just that every year. I mean, he's been a great, and it's not like he's a very versatile safety. He can play over the top great. He can drop down and play underneath great. I mean, you could almost put him in at linebacker and him be great. Yes. I really think. I don't want to get too crazy, but I don't feel embarrassed saying that might have been the best pick of the draft.
Oh, I agree.
In the first round.
I agree. 100%. For once, Jerry Jones done something
for the team need that could have been the very best pick in the first round.
Yes. Now we got to talk about absolute just
the stupidest pick of the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, by far.
Not even just their first round.
Yes, their first round was. I'll be honest with you. And we're talking about the Dolphins here, obviously.
Yeah.
They need offensive linemen. I agree 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But you didn't need Caden Proctor in pick 12.
No. There was too many better players.
I don't even know he could be, but I don't even know if he's the best tackle I don't even know if I wouldn't take some of these tackles that's still on the board before him.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I mean, I like their second pick more than I like him, and their second pick was a cornerback.
Yeah, and I didn't really like that pick.
And no, it wasn't a great pick, but it wasn't as bad. I don't think he was the best, the next best cornerback on the board.
No,
but he's not a bad cornerback. I think he'll do good. But
yeah, once he leaves the Dolphins,
I just that pick. I mean, like I said, they need an offensive lineman, 100%. But I feel like if they could have got just as good an offensive tackle in the second round.
They could have got Kane Brocker in the second round.
And they could have used that pick to get, I mean, you go out here and you get Malik Willis. You trade away the only player you got left for him to throw the ball to, and you still not addressed it.
Yeah. I mean,
you had 2 picks in the first round, and they've already had a pick in this round, and still not thought a thing in the world about, hey, we went and got us a quarterback, but we'll get a receiver next year.
They got that well.
Yeah,
they're solid.
That's the reason why they'll be top 5 pick next year.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
Unless they do something crazy, unless they pull off the AJ Brown, get him, they'll be a top 5 pick next year.
They have easily been the loser.
Yes,
this draft
yes, by far. And I hate that because they did go get Malik Willis, which who knows? I mean, he's a very big question mark. He was on Tennessee. He played a couple games. Didn't look bad. Didn't look great. Went to Green Bay. Played a couple games. Looked really good. But
is that because he's under the floor?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's a big question mark. But now he's definitely a big question mark because he don't have nobody. He's got Devon Achane. And I feel bad for Devon Achane too. I mean,
oh yeah. And the thing is, Willis took a cut to go to Miami.
Yeah.
Because he had a good,
he had a good year, and he had a good year. He had showed a couple teams, hey, I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying he could be a starting quarterback, but
they can play
in a lot of these teams that need a quarterback's eyes, he showed, hey, maybe he could be a starting quarterback. And like you said, he had some good players there, which I think we all knew Tyreek Hill was going.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, I wasn't expecting him to go there and have Tyreek Hill, but I really wasn't expecting him to trade the only other receiver they had.
No, that
and not address it. Now it'd have been totally different if they would have took a receiver with that pick in late in last night
or took Mekhi Lemon,
someone today in the second round. If they would have took their first pick, a receiver. But like I said, and don't get me wrong, there is some there's some good receivers in this year's draft. But they're going off the board. Yeah. I mean, they're getting slim now. So you're going to have to do something, or you done nothing to help yourself by bringing in Malik Willis.
No, not at all. No,
especially not with the players they lost last year. Because out of every team that lost players last year, every player they lost was a key part to that team.
Yeah,
I mean, every player. Yeah. Now there's some of these teams that lost players. You're like, it's whatever. He's okay. They lost Bradley Chubb. They lost, they didn't lose. They traded the wide receiver, Waddle.
Lost Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yes, I'm about to say you lost Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, every player they lost was big-time players on their team. And they've not really done a lot to fill any of those players' positions.
They've done nothing. If there's a team that could possibly tank in the NFL, it's them. Easily. I don't know. The Rams shocked the world yesterday. Well, I ain't gonna say the world because I told you.
Well, I told you. Actually, you swapped your pick, but at first you had them taking Conception.
Lemon.
Yeah, you had them taking McCall. And I told you, I said they're going to take Ty Simpson, and I don't know. I understand the pick, but I don't like it, if that makes sense. For Ty Simpson, it was absolutely the best scenario. He could not have, he's the winner of this year's draft. Right now, he's the winner. No doubt about it. He's the winner of this year's draft.
Maybe because Sean McVay didn't seem to have.
Oh, no. I'm just saying for him, though.
That was the best.
Because if they hadn't took him the Cardinals or the Jets were fixing. I'd almost promise you, they were fixing. I don't know if the Jets at 16, if he would have still been there, I believe they would have took him, and that would have ruined 2 picks. That would have ruined the Jets pick by taking him, and that would have ruined him because that's the reason why I say he's the winner of this year's draft because he gets to go to a team that's stacked, and he don't have to start.
Yeah. He can sit behind.
He can sit behind one of the great quarterbacks and learn for a couple of years. But back to what I said, I understand the pick. Me as a person, I don't like it, and like you said, I don't think McVay liked it a lot, and I understand it. I understand the GM's perspective of it. Hey, we're looking into the future. We're probably not going to have a pick this high for a while, but when you look at it from a coach's standpoint, the Rams are in a win now mode. I mean, they have the chance to win it all. They had the chance last year. They got. I'm pretty sure they have the highest rate to win it this year.
Oh yeah, especially after filling their cornerback need.
Yeah, and well, that's what I say. When last year that was their biggest hole with cornerbacks. They done a great job of filling that in free agency, and that's the reason why I said as a person, I didn't really like the pick, and I don't think McVay liked it because there was one player in particular on the board at that 13 pick that I think the Rams don't need a lot.
No.
There's not a lot that could come to the Rams and start this year, but there's one player that could have, and it's the tight end that the Jets took, Sadiq. Yeah. He could have come in and started because, they have a decent tight end, but they don't have Sadiq. He is, I really think, and I don't even know if they really need him.
No, but man.
But it would have been great to have.
Golly, he'd have been such a weapon for them.
And that's my
thing. And last year they ran a lot of 3 tight ends.
That's my thing. I understand the pick as a person. I don't like it as a person. And I understand the pick from a GM standpoint of view, but I also understand why McVay looked like I really don't like this. Yeah. Because I don't know if you've seen it, but I seen today they done the video of like McVay calling him and talking. And he's like, "Yeah, come on, let's be great." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know. I'm ready to get to work with you." Yeah, he definitely, and he has the right to be upset. When you got someone on the board like Sadiq, and you don't have a great player in that position, and you take a backup that's probably not going to start for 2 to 3 years, it could. And it's my thing, like I told you earlier before we started this, we're kind of seeing that we've seen the Eagles lose a lot of players this year. And the Rams are going to be, they're fixing to have to pay some people. Devontae Adams he's fixing to retire. That leaves you with pretty much Puka Nacua at wide receiver. So they're not going to stay a stacked great team forever. No. They're going to start having to, you get these good players, but you can't keep them forever because everybody's eventually going to come up for contract, and we know how the contracts are now. Oh yeah.
Now,
so,
Yeah, I agree. Now, I don't want to talk about every pick, so I feel like we should move back because this is kind of a big topic now. The Eagles. One, this is hilarious that the Steelers were on the phone with Mekhi Levin thinking, "Oh, boy, we got him. And then the Cowboys trade their biggest division rival. And the Eagles take Mekhi Levin at 20. And that tells me you might as well kiss AJ.
Oh yeah, well I done told you he was gone.
Oh yeah, everybody figured he was
Everybody had suspicion, but after seeing how many wide receivers they added this offseason and then going and trading up to draft a receiver,
have you seen how many wide receivers they have on their roster?
That's what I'm saying.
11.
That's what I'm saying, and they drafted one last night.
Yeah. Well, that was with the addition last night.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Out of all the ones they'd already signed and traded for during free agency, and then trade up. It wasn't like they just sat there and said, "Hey, we'll just take whoever's here." They traded up for in my opinion, probably the next best receiver. I believe, honestly, if I would have been the Browns, they drafted Conception before. After. Okay. I was about to say, I for some reason I was thinking they drafted Conception before, but I was about to say, I do believe the way the receivers fell, I believe, is the order they should have fell in. I believe Cardinal Tate should have went 1. Even with his injury history, I still believe I would have took Jordan Tyson as the second receiver off the board, and then Lemon was I think he was the third best receiver. But yeah, that's as good as Vrabel's got one good thing to look forward to. If it ain't nothing else, he's got one good thing to look forward to because he's fixing to get AJ Brown.
Yeah, he is. Golly, and it's crazy to me. But I mean, listen, I hate the Eagles. Hate them with everything in me. I'm glad that they're losing AJ Brown because AJ Brown's such a weapon.
Yeah, but
I actually love seeing him going to the Patriots.
Oh, I do too. But really, though, I don't even think it hurts the Eagles.
No,
I mean they don't
win 3 times last year.
I mean, yeah, he's a great receiver, and you don't. Why would you want to pay him 40? Is it 40 million a year he's making? I believe.
I thought it was 20, but I think it's 20 because they signed him for so long. But I think this year it was like a 40 million cap if they traded him before June 1st.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, you're right. It is 20. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, so why would you want to pay him 20 million a year if you're not going to use him?
And now, in my opinion, here's a hot take for you. I think he now has a much better quarterback to throw to him. A much better
absolutely. Quarterback. It ain't a hot take. That's cold.
There's some Eagle fans out there that's not gonna like him. But I'm telling you right now, he's now with a better quarterback.
Listen,
a much better coach.
I'm not here to make everybody happy. I promise you that. But no, I mean, honestly, yes, no, he's definitely in a whole better situation.
Yes.
Honestly, I mean, yes. And it's not even close. I mean, the quarterback is way better. I don't care. I don't care what you say. As far as just quarterback play, you take Drake May and put him on the Eagles team that Jalen Hurts has had the last 5 seasons. He's 2 Super Bowls already.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I know people say, well, yeah, boy, it should be like it last year. He was in Super Bowl. He did struggle, but
he also didn't have a true weapon.
Well, that and he didn't. That Patriots team ain't what the Eagles team is.
No,
I mean, no. Yes, AJ Brown. I'm excited. I've always hated the Patriots. Of course, Tom Brady and everybody always just killed everybody there. But after Vrabel went there, because I love Vrabel at Tennessee, I still hate that we don't have him. But I love Vrabel. And even with everything that's going on, I mean, I'm not a fan of all that. I don't agree with what they've done, but as far as just a coach, I love Vrabel. I think he's a great coach, and I think AJ Brown is going to come in and immediately be the best player for Drake May. Oh, without question.
Yeah. Now, I want to veer away from the draft for a second before we finish with the draft. George Pickens was kind of a big talk throughout this week because the Cowboys they came out and said, listen, he's playing under this franchise tag. We're not talking, we don't need to talk about a long-term deal. And I believe they're right for that. I really do. Unless he comes out and has another great year. As of yesterday, I believe before the draft, he signs the franchise tag. I thought that if he didn't sign it, they was going to trade him. You pointed out to me that with him signing it, they can
now trade him. Yeah, so they couldn't. Well, so they couldn't trade him before because technically he wasn't a Cowboy.
Yeah.
Now he can be traded.
What do you think happens?
I think they want to keep him.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think that I do. Like I think they want to keep him, and like I don't see why they wouldn't want to, but I do agree exactly what you said. I believe they made. If Jerry Jones is ever even drafting Caleb Downs, if he's ever done anything right, it was not giving in and signing him to a long-term deal right now. Just because, and I don't know if we talked about this last week or not, but we've seen George Pickens be crazy. And I mean, just be
and not a good kind of crazy.
No. I mean, I'm thinking we've seen him, act, just childish, and we've seen him bring a whole locker room down.
Yes.
Because of that, and so I do think that was the best move. Now, like you said, if he goes out and puts up another season like he did last year, then he's kind of in the lead of hey, I want to get paid or I want to go somewhere else. Yeah. And I mean, he has the right to do that next year if he comes out and has as good a season. But just kind of real quick, like we had said, I don't think the Cowboys are getting rid of CeeDee Lamb. So I
got a hot take for you because I was about to mention that. Say Pickens has another year like he did last year, and CD keeps going on the little downward slope he went on last year. Then you got to have a serious conversation.
Yeah. Next year, I was meaning like this year. I don't think they're going to get rid of him this year.
No,
but we still though, even if he has a great year this next year and CD don't, I'm still. Like I just said, he has the right to want to get paid, and he deserves it. But at the same time, after seeing him in Pittsburgh, I still, as a person, are like, I don't know if that's the right city, because if they was to trade CD, then that makes Pickens the number one receiver. And we've seen what happened when he's the number one receiver.
Yeah.
When you go into a game with a wide receiver core like the Cowboys, and you got CeeDee Lamb, which has been great, you got Pickens, which had a great year last year, you can't just focus on CeeDee Lamb because then what happened last year is going to happen.
Yep.
Pickens is going to go crazy. But now, if you just go into a game with George Pickens on your team, like the Steelers had, and the defense knows, hey, he's their best receiver. We shut him down. And we seen what happened when when Pickens got shut down and he wasn't getting the looks like he got last year.
He's on a bunch of people on the sidelines.
So that's my thing. Even if he has a great year, he as a player has the right to want to get paid. But me as a spectator, I sat and watched him. I'm like, I just don't know if I don't know. It's hard. But I mean, I do feel like they're going to be in a spot next year. I really do, depending on what happens. But one thing I think we ain't talked about yet that I think is crazy. I understand it, but I think it's crazy. Is the Reuben Bain, him falling as far as he fell?
Listen, I wanted the Saints to take Reuben Bain so bad, and it kills me to see him go to a division rival. It absolutely does because
I think he's going to be great.
Everybody talks about, he's over here like a T-Rex. He got a short arm.
Well, I was finna say something. Now I don't know. I didn't look this up, so I can't say it's 100% true. But I heard something today that really, and I'm not comparing these two players like, he's going to be the next him or he's just as good as him. But do you know what Aaron Donald's arm length was?
Don't even start with me.
God. Now, like I said, I heard it today. I don't know if it's true or not, but when I was listening to the podcast, while I was at work, and they said he only had a 31-inch arm span. I
will say this though, and there's nobody in this world like Aaron Donald.
No, that's the reason why I said I'm not saying he's going to be as great as him, but I mean, Reuben Bain had right at a 31. It was like a 30 and a half, a little over 30 and a half, I believe.
I think it was 30 and a half.
So,
at 30 and 7/8, I think.
It's just something, like I said, and look at Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald was a freak of nature, though. Aaron Donald had arms.
Well, that's my thing. And that's the reason why I said I'm not saying he's going to be the next him or he's as good as him right now. But, if Aaron Donald can do it, he had that raw talent to do it. If you go back and watch Reuben Bain in college, really? He had that raw downtown.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's going to haunt somebody that they let him fall. Well, I tell you who's going to haunt Tyler Shook.
But
he'll be over there crying because he.
Well, that's my thing. If you go back and look in college, if you go back and look in last year's game against Indiana.
He was
the best defensive player on the field.
Yeah.
And I know you have to take this into consideration because we always joke about it. Some of these players that play at the college level are fitting to go put in applications at FedEx and Amazon and car dealership. They're never going to see the NFL field. So, you can't say, oh, well, he threw him around everywhere. That's not an NFL player. So I'm not saying he can come in the NFL and do that. But I'm just saying, everybody's already immediately writing him off because of his arm length. Look at Aaron Donald. If his arm was only 31 inches, he turned out to be, in my opinion, one of the greatest interior linemen.
Yes.
And he was.
Teams are having a triple team him. Well, I ain't gonna say that they're gonna have to do that with Bain, but I'm telling you right now, Bain is gonna be a freak of nature in this.
I think he has a lot of potential. I really do. I think don't get me wrong. It is shown. People with the shorter arms do have a tendency to not be as good, which is honestly it's kind of just common sense as well. But if one person can do it, that don't mean nobody else can. If he can do it, then Ruben Bain could come in. Who knows? He may be the next Aaron Donald. I'm not going to say that. I don't see that. But I can see him being a really good player.
Yes.
I don't think I think he fell a little too far in my opinion. I really do.
Yeah.
And then one other thing I told you about that I wanted to talk about and kind of ask about, with seeing how the draft fell, I just wonder if the Bengals are upset about giving that number 10 pick away. In my opinion, I really don't think they are to a point. But at the same time, seeing players like Ruben Bain fall past 10, Caleb Downs being there at 10, Well,
here's my thing about it. The Dexter Lawrence trade happened literally right after we got done filming. Yes. Right.
Well, I made that big case about the Jets could do this or that and that trade. And which, don't get me wrong, I think it was a good addition for. I just don't know if they had to give up the number 10 pick.
If you tell me the Chiefs make that trade, I'm like, oh, that's a good.
Yes.
I just don't think with the Bengals being in their situation, I don't see it as a good pick.
Well, a
good trade.
I see it. I see it helping them, but I don't see it like taking them from where they're at to they're ready to go to the Super Bowl now.
No, it may be if they'd have kept Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, that's my thing. So I don't know though. I just wonder. I just wondered about that. With seeing how it fell. Because I don't know if Ruben Bain played any inside or not in college.
I don't think he did, but I didn't watch a lot of Miami games.
But still, though, in my opinion, I would rather have a great edge rusher over a great defensive tackle. I think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's harder to find a great edge rusher over a good. Because here's the thing, a good defensive tackle is good enough. A good edge rusher, they still struggle sometimes. Like you can have, like Trevonde Sweat, he's a good defensive tackle. He goes to a team, he can start and, make some plays. But, you have a great edge rusher, it makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I'm so back and forth on that whole trade. Because I think it actually helped the Giants a lot because they was able to get Arvell Reese at 5 and then get a great tackle.
Oh yeah, in my opinion, the Giants won that trade.
Yes,
I think it was a good trade for both teams, but I just don't know. I think the Giants are the winner of the trade.
Yes,
but like I said, and
a lot of people are going to call us crazy for saying that. But like I said, I I do think it helped the Bengals, but it didn't. Like you said, it didn't make me go, "Oh, well, they're going to be great on defense."
Well, that's
next
the thing,
year.
And I said a good defensive tackle. Dexter Lawrence. I think he is a great defensive tackle, honestly. But they don't have anything to pair with him now. They don't have any edge rushers,
and he clearly don't want to stay there.
What I was saying is, if you could have got someone like Reuben Bain, with that 10 pick, and then in the second pick went and got one of these defensive tackles that went tonight. They're good defensive tackles, and then you got a great edge rusher. Now, they could still go get an edge rusher, but now, in my opinion, what's left in the draft is just good edge rushers. There's not none that I think is great. So you got a great defense. They had, if they went and got an edge rusher tonight, they would have, a good, great defensive tackle and a good edge rusher. I would rather have it flipped. I'd rather have a great edge rusher and a good defensive tackle. It's a great defensive tackle and a good edge rusher.
Yeah, I agree. Now, we're kind of, we're going to end the podcast soon. This is probably going to be our last segment. So I want to finish with, who do you think won the draft in just the first round? Because we did get to watch a little bit of the second. So I want to stick to the first round. Because I have my two teams. And you said probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life yesterday, or today, when you said it was the Jets. Listen, yeah, the Jets got great players. I will give you that. It's the Jets. They don't win nothing.
Oh, well, that's what I said. I said as far as just drafting the players.
Oh yeah, I will agree with that.
Not making progress on the team. I mean, I think the players they got would tremendously help them if they had a quarterback. Yeah, but no, I don't think the players they made ain't gonna come in and take them to the playoffs next year.
No,
but now
I think they'll be picking about where they was this year.
But if, as far as just picking player wise, the Jets is up there in the top three. I mean,
I will agree with that.
They went and got David Bailey, a great edge rusher.
Probably the best edge rusher in
this year's draft, yes. As far as coming out and starting day one.
Yeah.
And then they got Sadiq, the best tight end in this year's draft. They needed a tight end. And then the pick I liked, I'm not going to say the most, but I was like, I'm not even a Jet fan. I was like, that is a great pick. It's coming back into the first round and taking Omar Cooper.
Yeah, that I think that was a steal, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, I mean, I'm telling you, like I said, it probably ain't going to help the Jets much next year because they need a quarterback. I mean, but as far as if you just look at the players and everything, I mean, they're up there. But now I will say, the Giants, even with taking the tackle, like I told you earlier, if you really, as just a fan, you don't want to see a team take a tackle. But if you really look at, hey, what does my team need? They needed an offensive tackle. And, Averill Reese is good. I think he's going to be great. But I'm telling you, I really like the Cowboys too.
Oh, I do too. And I tell you what's crazy. If you didn't watch the episode last week we talked about, my hot take was that the Eagles wasn't going to win. And I said they was going to get third and the Giants and Cowboys were going to get first and second. They solidified that, in my opinion, with this draft because them two teams won the draft and they were already. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a battle between them two.
Like you said, you think it's going to be Giants Cowboys. I said I wouldn't be surprised if it ain't Cowboys Giants. I'm telling
after
you,
this draft,
after pick 11 last night, with no major injuries, which I know you can't say there ain't going to be a major injury. But with nothing major and nobody missing significant time, I think the Cowboys have an easy shot at winning this division.
Well, I was dead set on the Giants winning the conference. After that last night, it's a toss-up for me.
And I mean, it ain't that the Giants drafted bad last night and the Cowboys just drafted good, but just the Giants need a few pieces. The Cowboys don't really need a whole lot. And with that Caleb Downs pick last night, that's solidified that defense. I mean, like I said, they still could use a corner or two, but also, like I talked about last week, it all starts with what you got up front.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone says. I've watched it over and over. If you have a good defensive line that puts pressure on the quarterback, your DBs do not have to be great. You can have good DBs and a great D line, and your defense is great.
Oh yeah.
So, even with the cornerbacks that the Cowboys have, I think, they're good. But with that D line, getting Williams, getting Clark, getting the edge rusher they got last night, I don't know if he plays a lot to start. I think they'll throw him in.
About mid-season.
I think they'll throw him in some here and there.
But everybody's hating on that. I've seen a lot today that everybody's hating on that pick, and I'm not. I like it.
I like it.
Which I know I said I wanted to stick, with the first round, but no. Everybody was like, well, they should have took a linebacker. I play golf today with my uncle. Like I said, he's a Cowboys fan. He was like, we probably should have took a linebacker. Well, they just traded their pick with the 49ers to get D Winters. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, he's not a great player.
No.
But he's really good.
Exactly.
And that's like I just said. If you have a really good defensive line that can get pressure and it's going to get after the quarterback, you don't have to have great DBs.
I agree.
And that's the reason why you see a lot of these teams now that have good defensive backs or good linebackers, but a really good D line, and it makes the linebackers look great.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, if you're getting pressure on that quarterback, you're making him, get rid of the ball faster, roll out of the pocket, make some throws that he normally wouldn't want to make or make them a little faster than he would like to. It disrupts the play.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like I said, you don't have to have great defense. But you go get Caleb Downs. He's a great DB. I mean,
he's a great. You can put him safety or DB, and he's going to be great for you.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think he's going to be a nightmare, man. A nightmare.
I really do. Like I said, barring no major injuries, and then I don't know. Who knows? The Cowboys could trade Pickens, which kind of that disrupts stuff a little bit. But I still don't think it makes nothing crazy. But the Cowboys, they have, I'm not a Cowboys. I don't hate the Cowboys. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I know every year you got the Cowboys. Oh, it's our year. We're winning this year.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen a Cowboys team, this is their year. This is the closest to their year I've heard in a long time.
I'll be honest with you. Being, somebody that don't like the Cowboys, this is the most terrified I've been of a Cowboys team to be good.
That's what I'm saying.
Every year I'm like, oh, yeah, yes, well, I can make fun of this team. Everybody's like, oh, it's our year.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing every year.
They have a very good chance.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Every year, all Cowboys fans, oh, it's our year. We're winning this year. And we're like, okay, yeah, I've heard that. If I met a Cowboys fan tomorrow and he said, oh, this is our year, we're winning, I'd say, boy, you got a damn good chance.
You might be right. Now, I want to see chance if we argue on this point, because I want to keep this between the Cowboys and the Giants. I think the Giants win this draft. Where do you sit on that? Do you want me to give you my backstory on why I believe?
I don't know, because my three teams right now that I would have right now, knowing what we know right now, would be Giants, Cowboys, Jets. And I wouldn't be like I'm not going to sit and argue with it if you put Giants first, Jets third, and Cowboys second, or if you put Jets first, Cowboys last, and the Giants second. Like, I think it could really be interchangeable. I really like, as far as just the draft, like not how it's going to contribute to our team next year. Because, like I said, the Jets are probably close to dead last if we're looking at it that way. But as far as just drafting, I think the Jets had a great, great first round. But I think the Giants had a great first round. I mean, getting Averill Reese is going to be. I mean, you've already got Burns, Carter, and Thibodeau. Now you add Averill Reese. I mean, that's nasty. Yeah. And then getting an offensive tackle, a little bit of protection.
Well, and that's my biggest thing on why I think they won. Because now they're protecting their QB.
Yes. I mean, no, I'm not really going – I don't know. You know, the Cowboys – now, if we could go, like I said, you know, just as them one player and how it impacts our team, I think it's the Cowboys, and I don't even think it's close. I do think the Cowboys
somehow finesse their way into an at 11, getting questionably the best player in this draft.
Well, no, like I said, you know, as far as overall group, I could go Giants over Cowboys because the Lawrence pick, I think it was Lawrence, wasn't it? That's his name that the Cowboys took, the edge rusher.
I can't remember his name to save my life.
I think it was something Lawrence.
I want to say you're right, but I cannot.
But anyways, whoever it was, he's not going to be. I don't feel like he's going to be an immediate starter, and I don't feel like he's a great player now. I feel like he is a really good project player.
Yeah,
he has the potential to be great. So you know, if we're looking at overall, I'd give it to you with the Giants or Jets. But now, as far as just one player and how he contributes to that team, I think Caleb Downs makes the Giants, the Cowboys defense a nightmare. I think Averill Reese really helps out the Giants defense. But if you ask me, does Reese impact the Giants defense more or Caleb Down the Cowboys? I'm going Caleb Down with the Cowboys.
I will agree. I will 100% agree with you on that. My whole thing on it was, like I said, protecting Jackson Dart.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, like I said. Well, like I told you, I'm sure Giants fans would have been absolutely livid right now. But if the Giants would have went out with the number 5 pick and took the tackle that the Browns took and then took their number 10 pick and took the tackle they took last night, I could have made a case for great picks.
What? The Cardinals at the top of the 3rd round pick Carson Beck.
I told you that's who they were going to get.
Yeah, that's insane. I just wanted to throw that throws me off.
But I don't know if you heard what I said. But with the Giants' first 2 picks in the first round, or with their 2 picks in the first round, if they would have went offensive tackle on both of them. Well, I don't know if I would say offensive tackle because, like I said,
they could have got a very good inside a guard.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah, they do have Andrew Thomas at left tackle. I think he's played left tackle for them. That is really good, but it's just you never know at what point in the season he's going to go down. Like I said, over the last 2 or 3 years, I think I see a thing that said that he was like average 8 games a season. But if they would have, let me just say this: if they would have took their 2 picks in the first round and went offensive line, I could have made a case for it being great picks.
Well, yeah. Well, that's crazy, because I said earlier,
because Jackson Dart lived in the blue tent. I mean, he lived in the blue tent.
And like I was saying, as a Saints fan, I hate to agree, but I have to agree.
Well, and it all falls back to you seen with your own eyes what happens when, and I know it does suck when you draft a lineman for 4 or 5 years in a row, but the Saints done that, and now they have a pretty good offensive line.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
I mean, so that's my thing. Like, I would have had. I'll be the first to admit, if I'd have been a Giants fan and they'd have took 2 linemen last night, I'd have been so upset. But looking at it from, hey, what does this team need? They need offensive linemen. They still need linemen.
Oh, yeah. I give you that. I'm 100%. I agree.
So, but yeah, as far as overall draft, I'll give you, I'm not going to, like I said, the Giants, Cowboys, and Jets are all 3. They're all 3 up there as to who won.
Yeah.
I ain't going to lie now. I mean, as a Titans fan, I like the Titans pick too.
They're sneaky because they really addressed two things.
Yeah,
the receiver, but they got the best receiver.
Yeah. I don't really know if they needed a receiver, but it's just kind of hard. I mean, if they could, I don't know if any teams tried to trade up with them, but if they could have maybe traded down, I could have understood it. But if you got the 4th overall pick, and most time those top 5 picks, you're taking players like a quarterback, a great edge rusher, or something. You ain't really looking at taking a linebacker with a 4th pick or something like that. So, a wide receiver, yes, that can be a 4th pick. Top 5 pick. So, I get it. Like I don't know if they couldn't have went a different route, but I mean, I like their pick. I will say, I ain't said this all night. I was heartbroken last night when the Cardinals took Jeremiah Love.
I know.
And I told you when I come over, I said the Cardinals are going to take Jeremiah Love. I knew it.
It's crazy,
but I was heartbroken because I'll still stick with what I said. I feel like if they would have been able to get him, it would have made a more of an impact than what they've got already. Yeah. And I think Tate's going to be great, but I think just getting Jeremiah Love and going to a team, like I said, a lot of people may think I'm crazy, but the Titans are in a way better situation than the Cardinals right now.
Yeah.
Going and like I said, I'm already going to retract on that because I ain't gonna lie to you. When we made our video last week, I thought Tennessee had him already on the team.
They done sent him at Titans.
I was like, he could be I said he could be a top 5 player, and if I'm not mistaken, I said unless he goes to the Jets or the Cardinals.
I think you did,
and I'd be dang if the Cardinals don't do exactly that. And yeah, I mean, I was heartbroken, but I mean, overall, I was happy with what Tennessee done.
Yeah, and overall, I was actually happy with the draft, the first round.
All besides the Dolphins. Now, I hated the Dolphins
and the Cardinals. Them two moved.
Yeah, the Cardinals. I didn't I mean, Jeremiah Love's great, I think. And I think he's going to be a great running back. But it's just, there was 30 teams that could have drafted him, and I'd have been like, that's great for him. The Jets and the Cardinals were the 2 teams that wasn't a great fit for him, and he went to the dang Cardinals.
Yeah.
And then the Cardinals is like we done talked about. I mean, they've already got 2 good running backs, and one of them that come there to be a starter, and then you go draft Jeremiah Love 3rd overall, and now you're paying him. I seen the contract today. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't.
He's the highest paid running back in the NFL.
Oh yeah, I did. I see. I thought you were talking about Algier. He's making $50 million. $50.3 million.
Oh, I'm gonna say that
guaranteed. Yeah, every single
dime. It was like a $32 million signing bonus or $30 million. It was something, but. And I mean, I know Tennessee wouldn't have been far off from that contract. No. I mean, with one pick down, but like I said, though, I mean, I think it would have made an immediate impact on Tennessee. I don't see it doing that for the Cardinals.
No,
because they don't.
Anything like I said, it puts them behind.
They don't have
even further
a quarterback. I mean, and who knows?
Oh, they got Carson back.
Yeah.
Sid the Sloth there,
but he could have maybe fell to a team like the Rams and might have helped him out to sit behind someone great, but after Mendoza, I don't feel like there's a quarterback in this year's draft that gets drafted that could go out and start and make an impact on the team.
No. Now, we are out of time. This is the end of our second episode. We appreciate anybody that's listened to 2 idiots. We appreciate you sticking in there with us. Putting up with us.
Yeah, it wasn't hectic tonight.
No, we didn't get into an argument tonight. But now we are going to drop this on Spotify and YouTube again. Again, we are going to do a poll. We are going to put the Giants, the Cowboys, the Jets, and other. And we want y'all to give us who you think won the draft. Because like I said, I think it's the Giants.
And then we're going to put who lost the draft.
If I can do 2,
I'm gonna try to. Here's gonna be the option for them: Dolphins or nobody. I'm telling you, that was That was the worst.
Oh, I agree.
By far. I mean,
I agree. So we do ask, like I said, please go vote on Spotify. I'm going to try to do both. We will post videos and try to comment for us. You know, who you think won and who you think lost, because, like he said, it has to be the Dolphins.
yeah, I don't. No, I'm telling you, and it's not even. It ain't even because of their second pick. Their second pick wasn't bad. It's just taking Caden Proctor at 12. I mean, that was.
Oh me!
You could have got him where you got the DB at, if not later in this draft.
Like I said, I think you could have got him second round. But now we hated that we didn't get into some big argument like we did last time. But we appreciate y'all tuning back in with us. We ask that you like, subscribe on YouTube and on Spotify. Go like our Facebook page and TikTok. I think you can get to everything from Facebook.
I know you can on YouTube because that's how I got.
And you can. I posted the TikTok, so you can get to it from TikTok.
Okay. I hadn't tried
Spotify is on there also. So, yes, you can get to everything from Facebook. So, we ask that you go follow us on there, share stuff, help us out, get us out there. We appreciate you tuning in. I think that's going to be it for episode 2.
Also give us some stuff to talk about. Let us know what you would like.
Because now after the draft, we're losing traction here.
Yeah, let us know, if you got anything, which we're definitely not. We got regular jobs. We don't get it. We don't know everything, and we ain't going to be 100% right on everything. But, let us know if you got something. You want to know. Hey, who do you think this or that? Or
give us some of your hot takes that we may think is insane and being able to talk about. Just interact with us a little bit.
Yeah, because like you said, honestly, the draft's over, so there's still going to be some moves, but it's kind of going to get slim until season actually starts.
So we ask that you, like I said, you interact with us. Like I said, vote, like, and share, and like I said, this is going to be it for episode 2. I'm okay with it. I think we covered everything we wanted to.
Yeah, I think the draft was the biggest thing.
So that's it. We're going to get off here, and we appreciate it. We'll see y'all later.